What's up, guys? It's Lord Both here with another video, and Captain America Brave New World it's down bad, fam. Like, real bad. Like, as bad as you think it could be, it's worse than that. This comes to us from Deadline, The Monkey, seeing and doing $13.5 to $14 million, second best ever debut for Neon. Captain America Brave New World, #1 at $28 million plus box office. And Deadline is not the only one that's running this kind of level of spin for them, saying, oh, it's #1 at the box office, guys. From Forbes, Captain America Brave New World tops box office into second weekend. From the New York Post, Captain America Brave New World still soaring at the box office. And from the famously impartial Collider, Captain America Brave New World overtakes The Marvel's entire global box office haul in a week. Yeah, that's part of the spin for all these guys. Is they're like, oh, look how good it's doing compared to every single momentous flop that Marvel has had in the recent years. It's already blowing those flops out of the water. Well, yeah, because they're historically bad flops for the entire franchise. That's like being in the hospital with an open ulcer in your stomach and somebody being like, hey, at least you're doing better than the Pope. Look at this headline from a website called Box Office Pro. Weekend preview. Captain America faces off against The Monkey. The really weird part about that headline is that A, it's true, and B, it's a pretty tight competition. This is from that Deadline article we were reading earlier. Despite a B- cinema score and a post-holiday weekend, Captain America Brave New World isn't imploding to the degree of The Marvel's 78% drop-off, and not as much as Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, 70% drop-off, with a current 68% second drop-off, or $28.1 million. That is a wild thing to say. To act like, oh, it's not imploding that bad, guys. It's doing okay. To put that kind of positive spin and light on it. Because guess what? Movies that are successful aren't supposed to have a 68% drop-off. By the way, that's only 2% lower than Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. So it's not like there's some kind of giant gap between those two drop-offs. Successful movies, by the way, just so you all know out there, are supposed to have like maybe a 40 to close to a 50% drop-off from the first week to the second week when they release. Anything over 60 is considered really bad. And this thing is doing really bad. Because let's dive into that 28 million figure for just a second. This comes to us from Cosmic Marvel via X, and it states in a post, Captain America Brave New World has earned 7.2 million yesterday. That's Thursday, February 21st, if anybody is wanting to know. It earned $7.2 million yesterday at the domestic box office. And as you know, the domestic box office for this movie was quite larger than the global box office on its release. Like, worryingly so larger. The post continues, it is an 82% drop-off from the film's domestic opening day. That is astronomically bad. When you start hitting the 80% drop-off number, we're talking about historical level of flops. Because this thing is only going to continue to decline in sales. It's not like there's going to be some magical resurgence that happens that no other movie gets. And it's even worse than those numbers let on, because when this movie premiered on February 14th to the tune of $40 million, that's $40 million domestically, they were also counting that $12 million in pre-ticket sales. That means that when you subtract that number, on opening day, this movie did $28 million. So that means from Friday to Friday, if you just compare those Friday numbers, this movie did as much globally total as it did on its opening day. That is a really, really bad sign. You should not be making in your first week a total number globally that only adds up to your first day release. And considering the fact that this movie had to hit close to $1 billion just to break even, because even though everybody's saying, oh, it only had a budget of $180 million. No, it didn't. That was really only the budget of just the reshoots. Because they shot this movie 2.5, 3 times. The budget for this movie is well north $350 million before marketing costs. And the theaters take their cut, which all adds up to the near $1 billion mark that this film is going to have to make its money back. And at $218 million worldwide, with a 68% drop-off total and an 82% drop-off domestically, that's even worse when we take out the preview numbers. There's just no chance this movie stands to get anywhere close to making its money back. I'd have to crunch all the numbers of all the massive flops that Marvel has had over the recent years just to see if this one is the absolute worst when it comes to the profit-loss margin. But I can tell you right now, it feels pretty close. It's hard. It's hard to get to that number that Eternals and the Marvels did, but this thing is giving it stiff competition. I mean, the fact that this thing made $28 million over the week and is in stiff competition with a B horror film like The Monkey, who's only $14 million behind it, and with probably a good enough meme campaign, could beat it out in the coming week. It all just spells epic disaster for Marvel. But those are just my thoughts on all this. If you have your own thoughts, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you liked this video, go and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, I appreciate you watching all of it. We'll talk to you again later.